25 pounds in 30 days, liver damage, depression. These are just some of the shocking claims made by Morgan Spurlock in Super Size Me. But did you know that his dramatic results might not be entirely accurate? Imagine going from a strict vegan diet to binging on Big Macs and fries for every meal. Sounds extreme, right? It turns out Spurlock's story might be more sensational than scientific. Ever wondered if his liver issues were really due to McDonald's, or could it have been something else? Let's dive into the real story behind Super Size Me. What do you think? So let's talk about Super Size Me. Remember when it came out in 2004 and everyone was talking about it? Morgan Spurlock, the director, decided to eat nothing but McDonald's for 30 days straight. Yep, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all from the Golden Arches. The whole idea was to see just how bad fast food could be for your body if you ate it all the time. Spurlock's experiment was pretty extreme. He followed some strict rules. He had to eat everything on the McDonald's menu at least once, and every time the staff asked if he wanted to supersize his meal, he had to say yes. It sounds like a fast food lover's dream, right? But it turned out to be more of a nightmare. Over the month, Spurlock gained 25 pounds. His cholesterol shot up, his liver took a beating, and he even felt depressed. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. You couldn't look away. The documentary didn't just show Spurlock stuffing his face with Big Macs and fries. It also dived into the potential causes of the American obesity epidemic. It made a big splash because it wasn't just about one guy's crazy eating habits. It was a critique of the entire fast food industry. The film painted a pretty grim picture of what these foods could do to your body, and it did it in a way that was both shocking and entertaining. Super Size Me became a cultural phenomenon. It earned over $11 million at the box office, which is huge for a documentary. Usually, documentaries are the kind of movies that you might catch in a small independent theater, not something that gets wide release and a lot of buzz. But Spurlock's film was different. It was engaging, it had a clear and provocative message, and it got people talking. It even got an Oscar nomination, which is a big deal for any filmmaker. But not everyone loved it. Critics were divided. Some praised Spurlock for bringing attention to an important issue in such an engaging way. They saw it as a wake-up call about the dangers of fast food. Others, however, were more skeptical. They questioned the validity of Spurlock's experiment and accused him of sensationalism. They pointed out that no one eats McDonald's for every meal, so the whole premise was a bit unrealistic. In these 30 days, Spurlock didn't just eat every menu item at McDonald's, supersizing items at every given opportunity. He also avoided any exercise that might have helped mitigate the damage. No wonder he gained so much weight. It was like he was setting himself up for the worst possible outcome. So Spurlock made some pretty bold claims during his 30-day McDonald's binge. He said he gained a whopping 25 pounds. His cholesterol levels shot through the roof. His liver took a serious hit, and he even felt depressed. That's some scary stuff, right? But let's look closer at how he got those results. Before he started the experiment, Spurlock was following a low-energy vegan diet. He was dating a vegan chef and often ate meals with her. Imagine going from salads and tofu to Big Macs and fries for every meal. His body was probably in shock from the sudden switch to high-fat, high-calorie fast food. That drastic dietary shift could explain why his body reacted so intensely. A group of researchers at the University of Linköping in Sweden decided to replicate Spurlock's experiment to see if they could get the same results. They recruited 7 healthy medical students in their early 20s and put them on a month-long fast food diet. Just like Spurlock, these participants ate lots of burgers, fries, and pizza. They were even given free bus passes to avoid walking, ensuring they got as little exercise as possible. So, what did they find? The results were quite different from Spurlock's. Yes, the participants did gain weight, but it was more in the range of 5 to 15% above their normal weight, not the dramatic 25 pounds Spurlock claimed. They felt more tired, but they didn't report the same level of depression. And their liver and cholesterol levels? Not nearly as bad as Spurlock's results. Their livers were fine, and cholesterol levels were largely unchanged. One researcher speculated that Spurlock's extreme results might have been influenced by his sudden switch from a vegan diet to a high-fat fast food diet. His body, used to low-fat plant-based foods, might have been less capable of handling the sudden onslaught of greasy fried foods. So it wasn't just the fast food, it was the combination of the drastic dietary change and the over-the-top consumption that made his results so alarming. These findings from Sweden suggest that while eating fast food every day isn't great for you, Spurlock's dramatic results might not be typical. It raises some important questions about the validity of his experiment and whether it was designed more for shock value than for scientific accuracy. This counterpoint is crucial because it shows that the reality of fast food's impact on health might be more nuanced than Spurlock's film suggests. Which brings us to Tom Naughton and his documentary, Fathead. If you haven't heard of it, Fathead is basically Naughton's response to Supersize Me. He wasn't buying into Spurlock's dramatic results and decided to take a different approach to the whole fast food diet experiment. Naughton, who is a comedian and former health writer, set out to prove that you could actually lose weight and improve your health while eating fast food. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the twist. Naughton didn't just randomly gorge on burgers and fries. He strategically planned his meals to fit within a certain caloric and nutritional framework. He focused on balancing his diet, even though it was all from fast food joints. So, what happened to Naughton? Surprisingly, his results were pretty positive. Over the course of his experiment, he managed to lose weight, and not just a little bit. His blood pressure remained stable, his body fat percentage went down, and his cholesterol levels even improved slightly. Unlike Spurlock, who claimed his health went downhill fast, Naughton actually saw some health benefits. His HDL, the good cholesterol, dropped, but he attributed that to the trans fats in fast food rather than the saturated fats. Naughton didn't just stop at showing his own results. He also took a critical look at Spurlock's experiment. He pointed out that Spurlock's approach was biased from the start. According to Naughton, Spurlock set out to prove a point rather than conducting an impartial experiment. By eating an excessive amount of calories and avoiding exercise, Spurlock's results were almost guaranteed to be negative. Naughton argued that the key issue wasn't just the type of food, but how much and how it was consumed. By planning his meals and keeping an eye on portion sizes and nutritional content, Naughton showed that even a fast food diet could be managed in a way that didn't destroy your health. This directly challenged Spurlock's assertion that fast food alone was the villain. One of the more entertaining parts of Fathead is Naughton's humor. He uses a lighthearted, sarcastic tone to mock Spurlock's findings and the sensationalism of Supersize Me. It's not just an informative rebuttal, but also an entertaining one, which makes it a compelling watch. Naughton's documentary brings a different perspective to the table. It suggests that personal responsibility and informed choices play significant roles in our health, even when eating fast food. While Supersize Me painted a bleak picture of fast food consumption, Fathead offered a more nuanced view, showing that with the right approach, the outcomes could be very different. Spurlock claimed he was consuming about 5,000 calories a day during his month-long McDonald's binge. That's a staggering amount, considering the average adult should be eating somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories per day. No wonder he gained 25 pounds in just a month. But the sheer number of calories he claimed to consume raises questions. Was he really eating that much, or was he exaggerating to make his point more dramatic? Things get even more interesting when you consider Spurlock's health background. In 2017, Spurlock revealed on social media that he had been drinking heavily since he was 13 years old and had never been sober for more than a week in 30 years. This revelation casts a big shadow over his claims about liver damage from eating McDonald's. If he had been a heavy drinker for decades, it's quite possible that his liver was already compromised long before he started his fast food experiment. And this makes you wonder, was it really the McDonald's food that messed up his liver, or was it his long-term alcohol consumption? The Wall Street Journal also speculated about Spurlock's physical symptoms during the film. Remember those shakes and tremors he experienced? The journal suggested they might have been signs of alcohol withdrawal rather than just a reaction to greasy food. If that's the case, it further complicates Spurlock's narrative. His health issues could have been influenced by factors he didn't fully disclose in the documentary, making his dramatic transformation less about McDonald's and more about his overall lifestyle. When the documentary came out, McDonald's faced a huge PR challenge. The film painted their food as practically poisonous, so they had to act fast to manage the fallout. One of their major moves was to take out full-page ads in some of Britain's biggest newspapers, directly refuting the claims made in the documentary. They admitted that eating too much and doing too little is bad for you, but they also pointed out that Spurlock's experiment was far from typical. According to them, the amount of food he ate in 1 month would take an average customer 6 years to consume. That's a pretty valid point when you think about it. Another significant move McDonald's made was to end their supersize promotion by the end of 2004. This decision was widely seen as a direct response to Spurlock's documentary, but McDonald's claimed it was part of a menu simplification strategy. They said that supersized fries and drinks were not popular enough to keep on the menu. However, skeptics pointed out that McDonald's menu only got more complicated in the following years, going from 60 to 145 items between 2007 and 2014. So was it really about simplification, or was it a strategic move to dodge the bad press? McDonald's did more than just defend themselves. They also made some changes to their menu. They introduced healthier options like salads, fruit, and oatmeal, and started providing nutritional information more prominently. These changes suggested that the company was trying to address public concerns about the healthiness of their food, even if they don't completely agree with Spurlock's methods or conclusions. So what's the big takeaway here? Super Size Me certainly got people talking about fast food and health, but it also taught us the importance of scrutinizing documentary claims. Just because something is presented in a compelling way doesn't mean it's the whole truth. It's crucial to dig deeper, question the methods, and consider multiple perspectives. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.